The movie opens up with a group of villains called the Vicious Six, which was led by an old man called Wild Knuckles. With the map that they stole from the Anti-Villain League, they found the location of a treasure. They visited the location to find the treasure. Knuckles was going into a cave behind the waterfall. He found what they had been searching for there. It was the Zodiac Stone that was rumored to hold great power. But when he tried to take it, something happened. Some weird creatures appeared and attacked him. He defeated them one by one. Knuckles took the Zodiac Stone. The dragon's spirits entered the stone. When Knuckles came out of that cave, the same weird creatures appeared in huge numbers. They surrounded and attacked him. He tried to escape from them. His friends had been waiting for him. He managed to escape with his friends. But after he gave the stone to them, his friends dropped him from the plane. A teacher was teaching in a class. Each student told their dreams to their teacher excitedly. And then it was Gru's turn. Gru said he wanted to become the greatest supervillain in the world. Everyone laughed at him. After school, all students were picked up by their parents, except Gru. Gru was picked up by his minion friends. They went to the cinema afterwards. They made everyone left the cinema by using a foul-smelling smoke bomb. Gru and his minion friends continued to make troubles. They harassed everyone and behaved wildly. When Gru arrived at home, he received a package that made him happy. It was a holographic message from a group of villains that he admired. This message was a reply to Gru's cover letter. The group was looking for a new member to replace Knuckles that they had killed. Gru was invited for interview the next day. Gru lived with his mother at home. His mother often behaved strangely and neglected him. He also had a secret base in his basement. His minion friends were working there. He told them that he would meet the Vicious Six the next day. Everyone cheered when they heard it. At night, Gru tried to sleep peacefully, but he was disturbed by some minions who wanted to sleep with him. The next day, Belle, the new leader of the Vicious Six, made an announcement. They were going to destroy the Anti-Villain League in 3 days on Chinese New Year's Eve with the Zodiac Stone. Belle believed that they were going to be the greatest villains in the world. Their plan was discovered by Knuckles, who turned out was still alive. He was furious. With his 3 subordinates, he planned to take the Zodiac Stone back. Gru started the day in excitement. He planned to go alone, but Kevin, Stuart, and Bob asked to go with him. Gru said he would go by himself. He didn't want them to cause him some troubles. But the 3 minions didn't give up. They followed Gru secretly. Gru arrived at a record studio. There was a shopkeeper named Dr. Nefario. Dr. Nefario brought Gru to a small room. That small room then brought Gru to a secret place. There were already some people who were going to be interviewed like him. Gru was called to meet the Vicious Six. He introduced himself to them awkwardly. His presence made Belle mad. She thought that Gru was just a random kid. She belittled him by saying that crime was only for adults. She thought Gru didn't deserve to have power from the Zodiac Stone. As Gru was told to go, a chubby man called Wingman entered the room. The chubby man tried to show off his wings, which led to disaster. Gru took advantage of the chaotic situation by stealing the Zodiac Stone. After he stole it, he tried to run away. The 5 villains tried to chase him. Gru met the minions who had followed him. The villains chased Gru and his minions. Unfortunately, Otto fell from the bike with the Zodiac Stone. Gru asked Otto to come home while he was going to distract the villains. The villains tried to catch Gru one by one, but they failed. With his rocket bike, Gru managed to escape from them. Knuckles watched them secretly from far away. At home, Gru celebrated his success of stealing the Zodiac Stone. But everything changed when Otto came home. Otto gave Gru a toy stone instead of the Zodiac Stone. Gru asked him where the Zodiac Stone was. Otto told him that it was hard for him to bring the stone with him. He then accidentally arrived at a birthday party. He saw a boy received a toy stone as his birthday present. He really desired that toy stone when he saw it. Without consideration, he changed the Zodiac Stone with it. Gru was angry to hear that story. He thought that they made his mission failed. He then searched for the Zodiac Stone by himself. But as he stepped outside his house, a van suddenly kidnapped him. Kevin tried to catch him, but he failed. The next day, Gru was brought to meet Knuckles. He was surprised to find that his idol was still alive. Knuckles asked Gru for the Zodiac Stone, but Gru gave him the Toy Stone instead. Knuckles was furious. He called the minions to bring the Zodiac Stone to San Francisco in 2 days or he would kill Gru. The minions panicked. They tried to bring the Zodiac Stone back soon. Unfortunately, the birthday boy didn't have the stone anymore. He said that he had given it to his uncle. Otto saw a man who was riding a motorcycle with the Zodiac Stone. He chased the man instantly by using a toy tricycle. Stuart, Kevin, and Bob rode a bus with San Francisco name on it. The Vicious Six prepared themselves to get the Zodiac Stone back. Kevin, Stuart, and Bob arrived at airport. They disguised themselves to buy a ticket to San Francisco, but they failed. They refused to give up. Kevin had an idea. This time, they disguised themselves as pilots and a flight crew. Kevin and Stuart took over the plane once they got inside of it. Stuart pressed all buttons randomly, which caused the plane to fly wildly. They almost crashed the control tower and other planes. But miraculously, they managed to land in San Francisco safely. Knuckles kept Gru confined in his attic with a chainsaw that would chop him into pieces in 48 hours. Otto kept riding his tricycle to catch the man who wore the Zodiac Stone. Kevin, Stuart, and Bob found where Gru was kidnapped. They couldn't enter the house because 3 of Knuckles' subordinates guarded it. They tried to disguise themselves so they could enter the house, but they were caught. Knuckles' subordinates tried to catch them. They chased the minions until they arrived at Chinatown. The minions were cornered and beaten up by Knuckles' subordinates. Their noise disturbed an acupuncturist who was in the middle of working. Her name was Master Chow. She was also a Shaolin Kung Fu master. She tried to warn them, but the men mocked her and told her to go. Master Chow became furious. With her Kung Fu skill, she beat the men one by one. The minions were astonished by her. They asked her to teach them Kung Fu. At first, Master Chow refused their request. But when they begged her with their pleading faces, she couldn't help but accept it. The Vicious Six came to Gru's house, but they didn't find Gru there. They only found Gru's mother, who was spending time with her friends. Belle asked the minions where Gru was. The minions told her that Gru went to San Francisco. Kevin, Stuart, and Bob started their first lesson. They were ordered to fight a doll and break a wooden board, but they were unable to do it. Master Chow began to teach them Kung Fu basic movements. They continued their hard training every day. Master Chow also taught them to bring out their true power. They were finally ready to receive their Kung Fu Junior badges. But they didn't care and left. Knuckles' subordinates quit their job. They didn't want to help Knuckles anymore. This made Knuckles felt lonely. He finally released Gru, who he had imprisoned all this time. Otto was exhausting and wanting to give up. But suddenly the man who wore the Zodiac Stone approached him. The man was also heading to San Francisco. He gave the Zodiac Stone to Otto and offered him a ride. Knuckles ordered Gru to clean his pool, which was full of alligators. He showed him how to do it. But suddenly, the alligators attacked him and tried to eat him. Gru helped that old man immediately. Knuckles didn't believe that Gru had saved him. Gru could use that moment to run away. But Gru said that Knuckles was his favorite villain in this world. He wouldn't let him be eaten by the alligators. After hearing it, Knuckles wanted to train Gru to be a supervillain. Knuckles took Gru to a bank. They disguised themselves as a grandfather and a grandson. The bank they visited was not an ordinary bank. There was a hidden bank inside of it called Bank of Evil. Knuckles pretended to cash a check there. But their real target was actually inside of the large safe, which was above the Mr. Perkins's desk. They started to execute their plan. Knuckles pretended to have a heart attack. Gru started to panic and asked for help to distract everyone's attention. Gru managed to steal the key of the large safe from Mr. Perkins. He opened the safe with that key. Knuckles couldn't resist when his body was electrocuted with a defibrillator. They executed their plan well. Gru stole the Mona Lisa painting from the large safe successfully. He was happy because of this. Stuart, Kevin, and Bob came to Knuckles' house, but they found nobody there. Suddenly the Vicious Six also came and destroyed the house. They split up to find Gru. Otto arrived in San Francisco on Chinese New Year's Eve. Knuckles was surprised to see his house had been destroyed. He became mad because of it. Gru tried to cheer him up, but it was pointless. Knuckles told Gru to go home. Gru felt sad and left Knuckles' house. In his journey to home, he saw Otto in Festival. Gru was excited when Otto gave him the Zodiac Stone. They planned to bring the stone back to Knuckles. Suddenly, the Vicious Six came and caught Gru. They also stole the Zodiac Stone back from Gru. But the Anti-Villain League arrived. Belle activated the Zodiac Stone and used its power. The power from the stone turned her and her friends into monsters. The Anti-Villain League was no longer their equal opponent. Gru tried to escape from there secretly, but he was caught. He was hanged on a clock tower downtown. Stuart, Bob, and Kevin arrived at that place. But Belle changed them one by one. Not long after that, Knuckles arrived. With his extreme anger, he attacked Belle and her team with the help of the minions.
Disarm me!
A fierce battle couldn't be avoided. But Gru and the minions were not the equal opponents to the monsters. Suddenly, Stuart, Kevin, and Bob were reminded by what Master Chow taught them. When they were cornered, they managed to bring out their true power. The situation then turned around. But they almost forgot about Gru. The giant hour hands almost ripped Gru's body apart. Luckily, Otto came to save him at the right time. Knuckles struggled to fight against Belle alone. As he almost took the Zodiac Stone back, Belle burned him alive. The five monsters then tried to attack Gru at the same time. But Stuart, Bob, and Kevin attacked them immediately. Gru managed to catch the Zodiac Stone. He took its power back from those monsters. He also turned them into rats. The five villains were defeated successfully. But Knuckles must be sent to hospital because of his severe injury. He would also still receive punishment for his crime. Gru became sad because of this. Finally, Knuckles passed away. Gru was greatly saddened by his death. But surprisingly, Knuckles was still alive. The funeral was only a fake death to save him from punishment. Gru was extremely happy to find out about this. Gru and the minions also got Dr. Nefario to join them after persuading him. Then the movie